What up, everybody? It's Ponter here, and today we've got a special game. This was played recently during this kind of frenzy of match modes, and I believe this was played like May 5th, 2023. So the World in Conflict competitive community is still alive and kicking and, thriving, really. And this game is going to be all about closeness. This is a close game, like the closest game I've played in a long time. Like, I think mathematically you can only get like a few more percentage points closer in the Dom bar than like what we did in this game. So it's going to be a close one. It's going to be a nail biter. So stick around to the end because the end is definitely worth it. But when you have a close game, you really open yourself up to, I guess, rethinking what happened. And every little decision you make, every mistake you make, everything that you do is culpable for that conclusion, So if you win, it's like, oh yeah, because I sat on that point and we got that extra little tick, that's why we won, and you can pat yourself on the back. But when you lose, you can see like, oh, that mistake actually cost us the game. Maybe I should uninstall. And that is why these are good games to review. And also they're just exciting. Like, a stomp is a stomp and it's fun to watch and you can jerk yourself off to a stomp, but you're not going to learn that much other than don't do what those guys did on the stomp. And for the teams, we've got Spirit Gun. Blitz is unusually on the armor, but we won't hold that against him. And then we got Wally on support, Arm, and me on air. So I'm that's a really good team in my books. On the opposing team, I'm not sure because of the stupid, one of these players is spectating. I'm not sure exactly who. We're just going to have to see. I do know Kickapoo is in this game, and just some context, Ted is Peru. And we were all in the VC together, at least Kickapoo and I and a few of these other folks were in the VC, just kind of talking because my comms are screwed up and we just like hanging out in the Discord sometimes. Okay, Elian's on air. And we were just cracking jokes that like, oh man, Peru is on armor. Like, get ready for some APCs up the flank. And there's also the famous secret nuke, and watch me I know this pisses off Kickapoo, so that's why I do it. And because Peru is famous for saving TA, not telling anybody, and then dropping a nuke in the last minute, and there's me denying the cap. This is always also good. So this is common airplay: spread out, get the vision, prevent caps, kill snipers. But yeah, Peru is just kind of a joke. Like, he's a decent armor player. He's not a good armor player, I'll be honest. And my mistake is not providing vision over here. I really fucked up as an air player. I should have had... That's my first mistake. I should have had a chopper there at all times to give vision for Wally. The infantry there is given vision too, but that little over the horizon is really important. And we lost. We didn't get the windmill cap. That's really bad. Really, really bad, especially in a 4v4. Thankfully, Peru is such a clueless armor player. He's not rolling up there with lights and getting a cap. Like, that's what you should do as armor. Like, you shouldn't have a heavy tank sitting here. Like, I don't know what that heavy tank is going to accomplish sitting there forward. Meanwhile, I've kind of learned my mistakes. Like, oh, I got to stay here and provide vision so we can get this cap. And then Small Island is shooting down my shit. And this is another mistake. I underestimate Small Island. Because I think, Small Island, I have a good record beating up his AA as air. I can usually, like, unlike Wally, I can usually crack off a missile in time and really fuck him up. And he's also in the VC, and I was talking shit to him. I don't know if he heard me, but I was like, oh, who's on support? Oh, Small Island? Like, easy meat. So I was cocky going into it. I was worried that I was going to have to go up against, like an alien support who actually knows his business. So yeah, like, that heavy tank accomplished nothing from Peru. So I'm already feeling okay about this match. And yeah, finally that guy leaves, so we can see the matchup. So yeah, it's Kickapoo, Small, Ted, and who's Peru, one of his many Smurfs, and Alien. And yeah, like Ted does not, Peru or Ted, whatever, he does not know proper match mode armor. But that's not always a detriment because it's hard to predict. And like, I'm in the VC, I'm hearing Kickapoo seething about Peru's choice in armor strategy, just blobbing on points. No, not getting a scout. He like, a scout, that's a waste of reinforcement points, guys. Like, fuck that. And luckily, Elian is providing line of sight for him. And also, luckily, like, I'm kind of wasting my choppers. And I don't expect this. I don't expect maneuvers such as this. This is not in the J-Man guide. You know, walk-in tanks up naked in a blob up the hill. Like, that's not done. Like, this is pub mentality. And that's the issue with Peru, is he's a pubber at heart. Like, he has no experience. Like, he has experience, lots of experience playing match modes, but he plays them like pubs. And like, he thinks that actual match modes are beneath pubs in the hierarchy because they're not ranked. He's like, these aren't ranked. They're fucking dumb. And that's like massive noob mentality, but whatever. And yeah, Alien's doing the correct thing, providing line of sight, and we just got these heavy tanks. And finally, yeah, like 5 minutes in, I realized, like, oh yeah, I can turn choppers on and off, right? Like, you know, classic me. Like, I always forget to do that. I mean, not you don't need it always, but this is best practices for air. Maybe I could do a video on specifically turning these things off. But notice this. This is my cockiness. I see there's 2 AA here. Like, I'm going to clean this guy up. And, you know, if this was Wally, I probably would have failed because he would have sniped the scout a little sooner. But I do kill him all of his shit and kind of force them away. And this buys us some more time. But I don't kill the heavies. And, you know, a normal armor player would pull back. But, like, Peru's no normal armor player. And, yeah. And that's what I get for my cockiness. I get an air-to-air to the face. And this, what they're doing here, is actually the correct move. Notice they reinforce. They know that this is the decisive point. They're going to mass up all their units. Like, yeah, I'm going to take some losses. I'm just going to throw them back in. I'm going to recommit to the attack because this is the critical point, you know, of decision. And also, like, fucking Alien is so lucky to dodge that. And now we're at a huge disadvantage. They cluster these points. Like, this is actually a proper attack from this team. Even though, like, the main ground guys are not the most experienced. You know, I always make fun of Small Island. I call them smooth brain or, like, stuff like that. And, like, I obviously make fun of Peru a lot. But this is a proper attack. And even Kickapoo is also helping out with the infantry in the back. But, like, Kickapoo is having a tough game. Like, he's not getting into town here. And boom, another cluster. But he's also kind of preventing Spirit Gun from being annoying. Like, these two just kind of neutralize each other. Like, these guys are just going to be fighting each other as infantry players until, like, the end of the universe. You know, they're still going to be fighting it out on, like, Seaside and shit. Like, these guys love... because they love playing inf. And they always end up on the opposite sides. Yeah, it's great stuff. And now they get a critical decap, and it's time to panic for our team. Like... I do manage to kill their overextended tanks and get out of there. Like, that's great. But there's more tanks coming. And they're not even going the smart way. Like, this is not meta, guys. Do not follow. Like, always go this way. Like, oh. But Small Island does... he has the AA in the correct point. And, like, he has the AA in the correct point. Like, man, this guy's learning. And... also, Blitz is nice. I didn't even notice this. Blitz has got the cheeky medium chopper. Now, I would say, like, on a 4v4, the medium chopper isn't the play because it's a lot. It's really expensive. It's 1,300 reinforcement points, and it's a lot of micro. That's like 2 light tanks, and like, you really need the light tanks, or that's like a whole heavy tank. Like, we needed another heavy tank up here. Like, tucked back here, shooting at Small Island, or, you know, there's like one beat up heavy tank here isn't going to do it, you know? And we also needed, like, a sniper in here. and some more drops over here. You know, these drops are a little too forward, I would say. Like, you want to, as an armor player especially, you want to do back drops and then walk them forward, because these guys are not going to survive very long. And also, like, these ones, like, you're splitting your micro. You know, I would do all three over here, because we just need the line of sight. We need the backup. We need to keep Kickapoo out of these woods, because he's always going to be in there being annoying as hell. And yeah, I think I managed to kill all the spirit gun shit over here at the cost of a chopper. And yeah, we still hold the hill. Everything is going okay. You know, there's no panic here. Again, like, I have so many overextended tanks, I like don't even know what to do with myself. Like, there's overextended tanks here, there's overextended tanks there. I think there must be an AA there. So I'm not gonna dive on it. And look at, like, it's so annoying to deal with the tank blobs. Like, this is why certain players will tank blob. It wins, and this is why you don't waste your time with, like, gay stuff like scout choppers and medium choppers. And it looks like Blitz's chopper died at some point. You know, you just need more tanks, and it is a numbers game when you get down to the 4v4s. And yeah, he does the correct thing and pulls back, and I do the incorrect thing and YOLO into this. I lose a chopper, I kill an AA, and I lose 2 choppers, and all I do is scratch the paint on one tank and kill an AA. Like, that's not a good trade. Very bad trade. And then, of course, there was a drop right on that. Like, you never want to dive tanks in that situation. And then in the meantime, there's an actual naked overextended tank here that I miss, that I could have killed. I was here. I knew there was a tank there. I was totally aware of it, but I just decided to dive those tanks. Like, that's a pub mentality right there. And as an air player, it's really important when you're in a match mode to not play with that pub mentality, which is like, I just want to be killing shit all the time. Like, that's what you do in pubs as air. Just kill shit all the time. Who cares what's going to happen? Like, you really, like, every minute counts, as we're going to find out. Every minute counts. You know, you can't spend time waiting for choppers to spawn. Like, look, there's 2 more overextended tanks here. Like, I got to get back there right away. Instead, I'm like moseying. I'm moseying here. And what we do get a nice cap here, or a decap. And we're doing what the correct thing is, like, if you're comfortably holding mill, and we're not even that comfortably holding mill, but we're kind of holding it, not for long, you got to pressure here. You know, because it's just going to be a wash anyways. Like, this map is very stable. And once again, like, this is why you get light tanks, guys. Like, don't blob too heavy to the forward point to, like, get a cap. But, you know, it does work. They do get the cap, I think. You know, I'm literally diving, YOLOing. My scout dies immediately, and I'm just attack grounding this blob because, again, I'm playing like an idiot. And I think Wally did get a nice dirty air-to-air on thing. Oh yeah, and look at here. Ted is vote kicking small island. And this is the other issue I have with Peru. And I'm killing I'm killing the overextended. He's like really toxic. And like, I'm toxic. I don't mind toxicity, but he's extra toxic. Like, you don't do a kick vote on your own teammates, you know, because they're not playing up to your expectation. And, you know, you don't swear at noobs, you know, and like insult their play because like they're noobs. Like, they're going to be bad. Like, you just don't be a dick about it. And it's not very welcoming to the community. Like we're supposed to be ambassadors. We're supposed to try to nurture the community. Like, you shouldn't swear at people and make fun of them just because they're not very good at a video game. You know, to an extent. Like, I'll make fun of normal people, like people who are normally playing this game a lot, have ranks, you know, who are involved in the community. I know I would be impressed if I could bully them out of the community, but like a new player, you know, one bad word at them and they're like, why the fuck am I going to bother getting flames, you know? And once again, he snipes the scout and the stupid medium anti-air survives and sees me off. So like Spirit Gun, or not Spirit Gun, Small Island is having a great game. You know, continually having a great game. Like, USSR is in the lead. That's how dangerous the mill pushes. And look how fucking, he had like a sliver of health. this is how dangerous the mill push is. And like, and I can't recommend it like enough. Always push mill in a 4v4 as USSR. It's a game winner, and like teams these days are not able to deal with it, like because everyone expects the town push, and it's not always the play to do the town push. It's really not, especially in a 4v4. But we're decapping the farm, we're decapping the mansion. Ted is massively overextending. Small Island's kind of asleep at the wheel. We finally burn this, and like Kickapoo's being annoying in town, but we have town locked down. Like, I got to admit, Spirit Gun has it on lock. Like, look at all these drops in defending the town. Like, this isn't fully forted, but that's okay. And we're cooking with gas now. Like, we've got this fucked. Like, I really want to kill that sniper. I see that sniper in that building. Like, it really has to die. I'm just waiting for the AA to kind of piss off, and then I'm just gonna slim mash it with missiles. Like, that should have died a long time ago. I remember seeing that sniper and like putting it on my to-do list, but all these overextended heavy tanks, and I'm just like, fuck, like that's the priority. And once again, like this is why you need lights. Like you could get out there a lot faster, and you don't have to sacrifice so much for the like, because you're gonna die if you go up there. Like that's why you get lights. Like Blitz is actually doing the correct move. In the meantime, yeah, there's a drop in our back here. This is one mistake out of Spirit Gun. Like, should have done some defensive drops. Maybe he did and they died. I should have done a scan. Like as soon as Jeeps get killed, you know that there's some nonsense back there. I should have done got my scout and, you know, snuck around, like search this and search this, do a search pattern type thing. But at this point, I'm like, thank God, you know, we pulled this out of the fire, because it would have been embarrassing to lose to like this combination, especially of all the shit I talk. You know, it would be embarrassing. And look at the sneaky cap from Wally. What a baller. You know, killing shit left and right. And boom, at this point, I see these APCs, I'm laughing at Kickapoo because I'm like, we called it. There's the APC spam, the classic. The frustration out of Peru has generated the APC spam. You know it's over for a team when they're doing this shit. And yeah, like, don't do APC spams. At least do light tank spams. A tasteful APC here and there in certain situations might work, but really not. I was like, that should be an infantry player thing. Like, infantry players can get APCs. You know, armor players, you got better things to do with your reinforcement points. And, you know, we're just locking it down. I'm killing Kickapoo's open snipers. I see Jeeps here. And I'm thinking, you know, we're killing them. You know, we got drops everywhere. Look at this. Collaborative. Like, everyone's doing tank drops. You know, we're forting this up pretty well. I'm killing Jeeps. I'm living my best life. This is massive esports. All we need now is some arties on the spawn and maybe some clusters up here. But I know against a Kickapoo infantry player, and this is what I get for being cocky. This is why you don't run into the spawn, you know. Also, like, what happened where he's spawning four AAs? Like, that's not a very good sign. Can we get another air-to-air? So, yeah, we're burning TA now. The second air-to-air, kind of frivolous probably. And now we're doing combos up here. And again, we just want to put these guys down as fast as possible. Just get it over with. You know, just gotta, because you never know what's going to happen. And again, I died here. I probably should have pulled back and helped up out here. And this is where comms are good. Like, you have to tell your air player a little in advance whether or not you're going to do stuff like this. Like, you got to give them some time to get up there. Like, you almost want to do the clusters, tell the air player, okay, in 20 seconds be up there, so you can, like, clean up the scraps and they don't have to deal with the AA. And then you do your drops, like, once the conditions have been set. Yeah, and then in the meantime, okay, here we go. We did a scan, a random, like, Blitz, who's the armor player, did a scan, and then we dropped a heavy air support there. That's 35 TA, and there's an ink. And my heart drops. Because I see that 30 TA, and I'm like, that should have been drops. That should have been pooled to Wally for a counter nuke. Like, we should have nuked them and Instead, Peru himself pulls off the classic Peru secret nuke. Kickapoo did not know about this nuke. This was a secret nuke, and yeah, there's a drop in the back that I should have killed a long time ago. And my God, it's the right nuke. And this is like, for all you gold guys out there who are always doing these shit nukes on this map, that's where you nuke as USSR. And look, there's even drops coming down too. Holy shit. You don't nuke over here, guys. Never nuke over here. I'm so mad at you if you drop nukes over here or on the hill or over here. Just drop it on the town. And because look what happens. Like, it's the biggest vulnerability for the NATO side is that town. And it's perfect. Like, Ellie in the air player does the drops. Oh, man. And we fall apart. And this is the thing with the 4v4s. If you fall apart, you really fall apart, and everything falls apart. Like, we have no line. Like, we haven't. Like, Spirit Gun has been completely wiped out. He has 1 unit. Blitz has 2 units. I have 192 health points, and I actually get a little rep there. I have 1 unit. Wally's there all alone. You know, the light tanks went to the wrong. Like, the light tanks went over here. The AA went over here. We fell apart, and we easily, like, honestly, if we had not, like, now we're doing the post-game coping, but on it, like, we still have a chance here. All we have to do is decap and prevent some caps. Like, they were really far behind. Like, we had them on the ropes. All we have to do is decap some things, but the APCs on the flanks are killing us. Oh my God, there's like, that's Kickapoo doing tanks. Like, I'm getting killed by APCs and radiation, and like, I'm telling people, guys, like, don't panic, just decap things. Oh, and it's pushing over. And Kickapoo did not believe that they were gonna win. He was like, oh, it's not gonna go, it's not gonna go. But he's running with 40 health points. He gets the cap. It's pushing it over 1 second, and it gets that extra little tick. 0.13. That's the win. Oh my God. Like, that's an existential crisis right there. So many things could have made that a win for us. You know, 1 decap. You know, if we had a nuke, easy win. If we had dropped a nuke on them like 30 seconds before Peru's nuke, which I definitely know we had the TA for it. If Wally didn't waste some TA, if Blitz didn't waste a TA, if we didn't blow our load up here, even though that's the common thing to do, but that was like 30 TA between the Blitz TA shit. And I was thinking during this game, like, man, we should just pull to Wally. And I think if we had proper comms and we were all in the VC and we were in that position where it was like 3 minutes left and we were crushing them, I should have said, everybody pull to Wally, save for a nuke, put these guys down, and we would have been fine. And, you know, kudos to Peru. He actually dropped it in the right spot, and this time it worked. And that's a dank nuke right there. That's the dankest nuke 2.0. You know what? You know, the great game from these guys. And yeah, what a fucking game. 0.13% win. Apparently you can get closer. Apparently, like, this is like the second closest somebody has seen. I think you can get 0.7 or something, but man, that's close. It's a tough one. But yeah, it's a good game, good match mode, and got some more for you guys. Take it easy. See you later.